Good morning, students. So we have seen in our real problems, that is different wages to different methods of wage payments. We have seen time rate, and we have seen piece rate also, and under that we have seen incentive plan. Under incentive plan we have seen Halsey, we have seen Rowan, and we have seen Merrick and Taylor also. Now let us see other concept. Our other concept is calculation of labor cost. Calculation of labor cost. It means what? Calculation of labor cost. What all the employer is paying to employee. What all the employer is paying to the employee, that is called labor cost. Employer is not only paying the wages. Employer is not only paying the wages to the employee. He'll pay some allowances and perquisites. You have seen this in taxation, that including wages, the employer will pay the employee allowances and perquisites. This you have seen in taxation. Okay, the same we'll do here. So what he is saying here, he's saying calculation of labor cost. We are saying its employer is paying to the employee not only wages, with that he will pay some allowances and he will pay perquisites also. Okay, allowances are in the form of cash. Okay, cash means the employer is paying to the employee cash, and perquisites means what? In kind. Okay, that we'll see here. We have learned that the different methods of wage payment that we have seen: time basis, piece basis, and incentive plan. We have seen Halsey, Rowan, Taylor, and Merrick. Next, however, these are not only the payments made to workers. Okay, workers are entitled to certain allowances such as dearness allowance, house rental allowance, etc. So many allowances will be given to the worker by the employer. They are also entitled to additional payments on account of overtime. So sometimes the worker is doing what? Overtime. Overtime means more than normal time. Okay, more than normal time he is doing work, that is overtime. Bonus, etc. Apart from payment to wages, the management incurs certain expenses for the common benefit of all workers. So common benefit of all workers means what? This here we are talking about perquisites. So here allowances, HRA, DA. Okay, these are allowances, and we are talking about here common benefit to all the workers means we are talking about perquisites now. Next, the labor cost includes not only amount paid to workers but also every other expenditure that is incurred for the benefit of workers. So he is explaining here the employee is not only paying wages. Apart from that, he will do some more expenses towards expenditure towards employee. That will be called as what? Labor cost. That will be called as labor cost. In simple, you understand that employer is paying to the employee. Apart from wages, he'll pay some allowances and perquisites. That is called as what? Labor cost. Okay. Now next, what he is here. Labor cost can be classified into two. One is monetary benefits, other is deferred monetary benefits. Okay. Next, what he says. Monetary means what? They are payment made to workers. Monetary means what? They are directly paid to the workers. Monetary, directly paid to each worker. Okay, so what we are saying, monetary benefits means directly paid to each worker. So we are paying directly to each worker. That is called monetary benefits. Next, what he says, monetary benefits are deferred monetary and deferred monetary benefits. Current monetary benefits are payment that are paid on periodical basis. Periodical basis means every 15 days, every week we can say periodical basis. Every 15 days, every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, every year. It will be called as what? Periodical basis. They include basic pay, overtime, DA, HRA, production bonus. This is what we are talking on monthly basis. So monetary benefits are paid on monthly basis. Deferred monetary benefits are payments made by management. The management is paying. Okay, that will accrue to workers only after certain time. They will pay after his services are being done. Okay. Let us take example. The employee is working in a factory for 10 years, and after 10 years the company will pay something to the employee. That is called as what? Deferred monetary benefits. Deferred benefits amount means what? Every year, every month that will be paid. That is called deferred monetary benefit. sorry, that is called monetary benefits. Deferred monetary benefits means what? That will be paid after a certain point of time. Okay, the government employees will receive the gratuity, pension, contribution to PF and ESI, all that will be paid at the end of that his job. That is called what? Called as examples of not deferred monetary benefits. So we have include the gratuity, pension, profit bonus, contribution to provident fund and ESI. This is all what? Non-monetary deferred monetary benefits. Okay, next up, this is about, we are talking about monetary benefits that are paid directly to the employee. In this we have two, one is monetary, one is deferred. Monetary is paid every month and deferred is paid after his services has been completed. That will be paid. You know, gratuity, pension and all that you have studied in taxation. Next, fringe benefits. Okay, what it says, these are benefits that employees are included to by virtue of being a part of the organization. Such benefits include free medical facilities or hospital service, subsidized food or canteen services. Subsidized foods means, you know, the food will be sold at low cost to the people, to the workers who are working in a factory. Subsidized education to children, employees' children, free recreation facilities to employees, etc. So this is all called what? This is all what? That benefits are given in kind, not in cash, given in kind. Okay. So it's a part of employer. He has to give his employees these are all fringe benefits, so that the employee should be in the company only. He should be, you know, he should be loyal to the company. Take example of Google. If an employee is going to the Google, if he joins Google, he'll not leave the company because the company is giving many benefits, many fringe benefits. They are giving monetary benefits and they are giving many fringe benefits. Okay, so that's why the person who enters a Google does not want to leave the job, because the company is giving many monetary benefits and fringe benefits. Okay, why the company is doing like this? Why the company is doing extra expenditure? Why the company is giving extra expenditure? Already they are paying wages. Beyond that, why they are paying allowances and perquisites? Means the company wants to retain the employee for a long time. Okay, the company wants the employee to retain for a long time. Okay, chaliye next. Some of the examples here are we have expenses that are here. We are writing contribution to provident fund. We know what is PF. PF, let us see. The provident of PF is a unique saving. It is a saving and investment option. The saving will be invested. What is saying? It's a saving. Who's saving? Employee saving. Who's saving? Employees saving. Who's saving? Employee saving. And that will be invested option available to employees. And the employees or the employer, employees or employer, we can say employer is investing that money somewhere. Okay, somewhere the employer is investing this. Whose money? Employees is saving money, investor, the employer is investing. Next, under this scheme, the worker contributes some portion of his salary to the fund. We know this, right? What is happening in the PF? PF, some part will be paid to the paid by the provident fund, will be paid by the employee, and the same and equal amount will be paid by employer. I repeat, employee also pay some part, some amount. Employee also pay. Employee, whatever the employee is paying, the same amount will be paid by employer. Okay, see what it says. Under this scheme, the worker contributes some portion of his salary to the fund. Okay, the employer also contributes a matching amount to the fund. Whatever the employees are contributing, the same will be contributed by the employer. The total amount is invested in a certain approved instruments that will be invested. Both employer and employee amount will be invested. Okay, here he give an example. We'll understand example also. The income earned on such investment totally belongs to the employee. And whatever the income he is earning on that investment, whatever the amount that is being earned on the investment will be given to the employee. See here, I'll explain here. Take example, employee is contributing 10 rupees plus employer is also contributing 10 rupees. Total is PF 20 rupees. This 20 rupees will be invested. This 20 will be invested, and on this 20, take example, if 2 rupees is income, this 2 rupees belongs to employee. This 2 rupees belongs to employee. See, 10 rupees employee is contributing, 10 rupees employer is contributing. Put together 20 is PF, and PF, the amount is invested somewhere, and on that investment, if the employee is earning, if the investment is earning rupees 2, that is belongs to employee. This PF amount plus investment is belongs to employee. Okay, that he is saying here. That he tries to explain here. See, the money cannot be the income earned on such investment totally belongs to the employee. Yes, this money cannot be immediately withdrawn by the employee, however able to take a loan on the same. He cannot withdraw the amount. Every month the employee is contributing some part of his salary to the PF, provident fund, and that provident fund will not be taken by the employee immediately. That will be given after certain period of time. Okay, chaliye next. By participating in a PF scheme, the employee is increasing income, so employee's income is increasing. Okay, thus if employee is earning ₹100, here is giving example, participating in a PF scheme and contributes 10 to the fund, from his salary ₹100, he is giving 10 to the PF, and his employer is also contributes 10 to the scheme, then his income is 110. Okay, ₹100 he is earning. From that 100 he is giving to the PF, and employer is also giving ₹10. His total earning is 100 plus 10. From this 100 only he is giving his share, his contribution to the PF. So his income is 110, and 100 of his income plus 10 and ₹10 employer contribution. He gets take home only 90. Why 90? From 100 he is giving 10 to PF. Okay, and employer is also giving 10. So he is taking home only 90 of his income. 10 contribution to PF, the difference of 20, that is 10, is employer's contribution to PF. Okay, so 10 he is giving and 10 employer is giving. Simple, I'll explain simple. See, he is earning ₹100. From that he is giving how much? PF ₹10. So how much is left over? 90. So he is taking home 90. So his contribution ₹10 plus employer contribution ₹10, total contribution is 20 to PF. He is trying to explain here. Okay, next, and the amount 20 is invested somewhere else. The income earned on 20 also belongs to the worker. So 20, if any money is earned on this 22, so 22 is belongs to, take example, ₹2 is earned on this 20. So 22 belongs to the employee. Okay, the contribution to PF is usually a percentage of basic pay of the worker. So whatever that basic pay of the worker, that will be the percentage. The employer contribution is usually a matching concept, but not need be also always. So he is saying it should be, don't think this point, it should be always equal. Okay, so this is called PF. What is PF? So simple, it's a contribution, it's a type of saving that is done by employee, and the same equal amount will be contributed by the employer. Both the amounts, employee contribution and employer contribution, will be invested somewhere. On that investment, the earnings will be totally belongs to the employee, and the PF money cannot be withdrawn immediately. That can be withdrawn after a certain point of time. Okay, chaliye next. What is ESI? ESI is same like what? PF, but hence the treatment is also the same. But what ESI is doing? ESI is the difference in terms of benefits that accrue to the employee. Employee gets benefited as the amount contributed are used to meet medical expenses. So ESI is for medical expenses. So any treatment, the employee or his family can go to the hospital. Which hospital? ESI hospital. That is government hospital. He can go to government hospital and he can do what? His treatment, and then the employee need not to pay the bill. Okay, that is called ESI. Next, amenities to labor, fringe benefits. What all benefits will be paid to the laborers? The management spends on providing some amenities to its staff. It is assumed that all the workers use this facility equally. Yes, the facilities which is given by the company will be taken by all the employees, utilized by all the employees. However, a worker may or may not use the services offered. These expenses are part of the labor cost. So the management is incurring some expenditure in the form of fringe benefits. That is a part of labor cost. Yes, they do not get added to the earnings of the workers. Okay, this will not be given to the workers. Amenities, fringe benefits will not be given to the workers. Okay, next. To calculate the labor cost by employee, these costs are included in the total cost and divided by number of employees. In calculating cash, no need. So you will get confused. So remember that amenities to labor is extra benefits that is being paid for all the employees, and the employee will not get cash for that. He will not get any money, but he'll simply get what? Services. Next, overtime. What is the meaning of overtime? The employee has to work in a factory for 8 hours. The employee has to work 8 hours. His shift is 8 hours, but he is working more than 8 hours. Suppose he is working for 2 hours extra. 8 plus 2, how many hours? 10 hours. 8 hours is a daily normal work time, but 2 hours extra is working. That is called overtime. Okay, why the overtime has occurred? Okay, the employer and employee at the time of employment, at the time of interview, the employer is saying to the employee, you have to work for our company only for 8 hours. Okay, that is called as what? Normal time. But sometimes what happens, due to some sudden change, sudden what we call demand of for a product, or many reasons we have, that reasons we'll see. Okay, the employer is asking the employee to do more work, more than normal time. That is called what? Extra time. So extra time also the employer has to pay. Employee is working for 8 hours plus 2 hours. The employer has to pay 8 plus 2, 10 hours wages to the worker. Okay, what is saying? See, work time, what overtime is the work done by a worker over and above his normal time. So his normal time, over and above normal time, he is working. That is called what? Abnormal time. Normal working time may be defined on a daily basis, that is 8 hours per week. Means how many weeks he is doing? He is working for 8 weeks. How many weeks? Sorry, weekly basis. Per day he is working 8 hours, and 6 days in a week. 6 days, Monday to Saturday. How many days he is working? 48 hours a week. Okay, every day is working 8 hours, and in week we will consider only 6 days, because Sunday is a holiday. So Monday to Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If the actual hours worked by the worker exceeds such defined normal working time, he is eligible for at a rate that is higher than the normal wage rate. Overtime is not. So he has to pay more. The employer has to pay to the more to the employer. Employer has to pay more to the employee. Okay. Next, overtime is normally due double the normal wage rate. So overtime rate, the overtime rate will be double, will be more than the normal wage rate. If normal wage rate is 1 rupee, they have to pay rupees for overtime time. For overtime, they have to pay 2 rupees per hour. The additional amount is called overtime premium. Yes, the money which is being paid, the amount for 8 hours is being called as normal wages, and for 2 hours will be called as what? Overtime premium. Next, overtime may be required to meet now he is telling why the management is giving overtime. Overtime may be required to meet predefined targets to delivery deadlines. Means they have to give some order on time. Okay, but if workers do daily 8 hours, they will not do the work on time. Okay, so that's why the management is asking the employee to do more work. Next, it may be resorted to workers to increase their income. So workers want to increase their income. 8 hours they are working daily, so that money is not being sufficient. So what the employees is doing, the employees is asking the management, give us work overtime, because they can earn more. Okay, normal hours they'll work, and more than normal also they want to earn. They want to do work because they want to earn more money. Management may request to workers overtime to make up for shortfall in production, to increase the production to meet and unanticipated demand. Yes, it may be a reason. They got some order. Okay, they got some order from the employer is got some order from the market, and within short span of time they have to complete that production and have to supply, but the time is not sufficient. Okay, so the management is asking the employees to do more work. So here we have some examples of that we can see. Okay, next you can read this, right? Treatment of overtime you can read, and overtime premium, this also you can read. Next, idle time. This is important. What is the meaning of idle time? See what he's saying. Idle time cost represents the wages paid for the time lost during which the worker does not work. Idle time means it is a time in which the worker is not working, but he has to be paid. Okay, take example. If worker time is total 8 hours, but he is working only for 7 hours, and 1 hour is not working, that 1 hour is called what? Idle time. That 1 hour is called what? Idle time. But the company has to pay him for 8 hours. From 8 hours he is working only 7 hours, and 1 hour is not working due to some reason. That reason we'll see. Okay, that 1 hour he is not working. Okay, but the company has to pay him for 8 hours. He is saying, see, this happens due to various causes of which he is not responsible. It is not his responsibility. It is not due to him. His responsibility. The reason is not the worker, but it is happening. So the company has to pay him 8 hours. Next, see next what he says. So the worker remains idle, but full wages are paid to him. Idle time is 2 types. So he is coming to the factory. He's in the factory for 8 hours. He's working only for 7 hours. The company has to pay for him for 8 hours. Okay, and it is not his responsibility, not his fault. Okay, that is called what? What? Idle time. So idle time, we have two types of idle time. One is normal idle time, other is what? Abnormal idle time. So we'll see first what is the meaning of normal idle time. Sorry. Normal idle time results usually from unavoidable causes. Unavoidable causes. We are talking about normal. That causes we cannot avoid. That is not in the control of the employer and employee. Next, unavoidable causes are those which are beyond control, that is not controlled by the management and employee. Next, examples of normal idle time include time taken by the worker to reach from factory gate to the place of work. Yes, we know the factories, big factories we have. See, all the factories are very big. From the gate to reach his, that main where he is working, it takes 10 to 15 minutes to reach. Okay, that is called normal idle time. Time interval between completion of one job and commencement of next job means time from one job completion to other job completion. Okay, I'll take example. Okay, see, our time, college time is 8:15 to 2:30. That we are being paid. Okay, but how many hours we are working in that? See, we come to the college from ground floor. We have to come to the fourth floor. Then time is being spent. Time is being wasted. Okay, then again from one class to other class we have to go. See, some class let us talk about me. If I have a class in third floor, from third floor to next class I have to go to the fourth floor. Some 4 to 5 minutes are being wasted, right? That is talking about. That is called what? Normal time. That is not in my control. That is not in the management control. That is talking about. Okay, next. Time taken for personal needs and tea breaks. Okay, the employee is going for tea breaks and all. Okay, next, time taken for settings, adjustment of machines, etc. The machine has to be adjusted. That is all called what? Normal idle time. It is all called as what? Normal idle time. Normal idle time is not in the control of the management nor in the control of the employee. Okay, next, normal idle time is not required. Next, no, abnormal idle time. This we'll understand later. I'll explain this later when we do problems on this. Abnormal idle time. Abnormal idle time arises usually due to avoidable causes. Avoidable means that we can avoid. That is in the control of the management. If they want, they can avoid it. Abnormal idle time may be caused due to the following. Idle time due to machine breakdown. Machine is breaking down. Every now and then the machine is breaking down. Okay, the machine is not working properly. Next, power failure. Waiting for work or tools or raw material. The worker is there near the factory and near the machine, but he does not have what tools to operate it. But he does not have what raw materials to convert it into production, into goods. Next, waiting for instructions. He is at the factory. He is at the machine. He has everything, but power is there. Machine is also working. Raw material is also there, but the manager has not come. Time is being spent. Wasted. Time lost due to strikes or lockouts in factory. So lockdown, it's not lockdown, it's lockouts, right? Time lost due to strikes. Some strikes are going on between among the employees and that management. Some employees want something they want from the management. The management is denying that. So they'll go on strikes, lockouts in the factory. Okay. Next, abnormal losses are expenses not included in the cost. Hence, wages are paid for abnormal. This we'll see later. Okay. This is all what? Calculation of labor cost. Okay, let us see one problem. And rest what here we have something I want you to read. These are additional points to be needed. Okay, abnormal. This from here to here you need read. Okay, let us see one problem from textbook, from other book. I am solving from textbook problem from CM N.A. Arora. So we have to calculate what he is asking you to calculate. The same terms which you have seen in taxation that will be repeated here. What is saying? The following particulars prepare the labor cost and cost sheet per man day of 8 hours. He is saying to prepare cost sheet per man. Per man means one man for 8 hours. 8 hours. He is working in a factory. Per day a man is working for 8 hours. He is asking you to prepare cost sheet for 8 hours of one man. Next, basic salary 2 per day is given. So basic allowances is given to 25 paisa for every point over 100 cost of living index for working class. So cost of index is 100. Over the 100, if any point, points are there, that has to be paid for DNS allowance. So 25 paisa is the over 100 cost of living points. So here how much current cost of living index is how much? 700. So from 700 you take off 100, how many points? 600 points. So 600 point DNS allowance has to be paid. Next, leave salary 10% of A and B. What is A? Salary and DNS allowance. Next, employer contribution to provident fund 8% of A plus B plus C. What is A plus B plus C? Basic salary, DNS plus leave salary. This 8% we have to pay. Next, employer contribution to state insurance. The insurance the employer is paying. So A plus B plus C, same again. Basic salary, DNS allowance and leave salary, A plus B plus C. Next, employer expenditure on amenities to labor 20 per head per month. So directly is given 20 rupees. You can directly take. Number of working days in a month, 25 days of 8 hours each. So how many days in a month? 25 days. He's talking about months. Days he is talking about. So format is so simple. Statement showing labor cost per man day of 8 hours. So this is the format. So first is what? Particulars. Rate is here. Amount per month 25 days, and this is for 1 day. Rate per man day of 8 hours. 1 man 1 day we are talking about. So let us do solution. So here we have solution, but I want to solve in the book, so all the calculations will be easy. Arey yaar. See. So first what we have? The basic salary. So let me write here basic salary. Basic salary. How much is saying? Rupees 2. Rupees 2. For how many days? First we have to do for month. 25 into 25. Okay. How much we are getting? 25 into 2? 50. 50. Okay. Per man is how much? 2 rupees. Per man is 2 rupees. Okay. How you can do? 50. This 50 divided by 25 you get 2. Or directly he is saying per day is how much? 2. So I am taking per day 2 rupees. Okay. Next, what we have? DNS allowance. This I am writing A because my calculations are he is saying A plus B plus C. B is what? DNS allowance. DNS allowance. How much is saying? 25 paisa. Over and above 100 paisa, 100 points. So we are 0.25 into 600 points. So how we are getting? 700 points current. So over 100 is saying. Current point is 700. He is saying over 100 means we have to deduct 100. 700 minus 100 is 600 into 0.25. So 700 into 0.25. Sorry, 600 into 0.25. We are getting 150. So 150 is for 25 days. 150 is for 25 days. 1 day we want to find out. So 250 divided by 25. We are getting 150 divided by 25 days. We are getting 6 rupees. 6 rupees. See, 150 is for 25 days. We want to find out for 1 day. So 25, we are getting 160 divided by number of days is 25. 150 divided by number of days is 25. So we are getting 6. Next, after that what? C. Leave salary. What is saying for leave salary? A plus B plus, sorry, leave salary is A plus B. 10%. 10% of A is how much? 50 plus 150. Okay. So 200 into 10%. We are getting how much? 20. This 20 is for 1 month. 20 is for 1 month. That is 25 days. For 25 days, how much? 20 divided by 25. 25. We are getting 0.80. Okay. If you are understanding. See, it's simple. 25 is 20 for 25 days. We want to find out for 1 day. So 1 day is 0.80. Okay. Next, what is saying? D point. Employers contribution to PF. Employers contribution to PF. What is saying? How much percent is saying? 8% of A plus B plus C. 8% of A is this, B is this, and C is this. 50 plus 150 plus 20. So 50 plus 150 plus 20 into how much percent? 8%. 17.6. 17.6 is for 25 days. 17.6 divided by 25. We are getting 0.70. 0.70. Again how? 17.6 for 25 days. For 1 day, 25. Getting 0.70. Okay. Next. Employer contribution to state insurance. E point. Employers contribution to state insurance. What is saying state insurance? 2.5% of A plus B plus C. So A plus B plus C means 50 plus 150, 100 plus 220. So 2.5% of 220. 2.5% of 220. 5.5 we are getting. So 5.5 is for 25 days. 5.5 is for 25 days. For 25 days. For 1 day how much? Divide by 25 you do. You get 0.22. So 5.5 divided by 25. Okay. Next. F. What is F? Amenities to labor, how much? 20 per month he is directly giving. It is 20 per head per month. Per head per month. Expenditure to on amenities to labor. He is directly saying 20 per month. 20 per month he is saying. So we have to do 20 per month is months divided by 25. So 0.80. 20 per month. So we have to find out per day. So to find out per day, amount divided by number of days. Amount divided by number of days. Okay. So we are getting here total labor cost. First we are finding out total labor cost. So we have 50 plus 150, 220 plus 20, 220 plus 17.6, 220 plus 17.6. 37.6 plus 5.5 plus 20, 263.10 we are getting. Okay. And per day 2 plus 6 plus 0.8 plus 0.7 plus 0.22 plus 0.8, 10.52 we are getting. 10.52 we are getting. Got it. So total labor cost for month. This is for month. And this is for per day. This is per day. So he asked you to find out statement showing labor cost per man day of 8 hours. For 8 hours, what is the cost per labor? So 10 rupees 52 paisa. So per month the cost is 263.10, 10.52 into 25 you do, you will get 263. Okay. So 1 day per labor. This is per man. So one labor is working daily 10 rupees to 52 paisa, and that man, if he works for 25 days, he will earn 263.10 paisa. Okay, do calculation. Easy, here only calculation is there, right? So per day he is earning 10 rupees to 52 paisa, and the same man, if he works for 25 days, he will earn 263.10. Okay, easy. It's so easy. Next, one more from textbook I want to do. So textbook. See here he is giving this example, this question. Calculation of labor cost, page number C13. What he is saying? The following data prepare a statement showing the cost per day of 8 hours of engaging a particular type of labor. So per day he is saying every day, same like this only. Monthly salary basic plus DS 200, leave salary payable to the workman 5% of salary. Salary is this 5% of 200 you have to pay. Employer contribution to PF is 8% of salary, that is A plus B. Next, employer contribution to insurance is, that is again 2.25% salary of item A and B. Next, pro rata experiment amenities directly he is giving per month. Number of working days in a month is 200 hours he is giving. So this calculation we have to do separately, will do. Okay. So I have prepared what? Statement showing labor cost per month man day of 8 hours. So only 2 columns I prepared, particulars. And if you want, you can prepare for 200 hours. Here we are multiplying with everything with 25, right? Per month. No need. We'll do directly, directly 8 hours. Directly 8 hours. Cost per day. Directly we can do. At the last we can do per, for 200 hours per month. Number of days is not given here. See, number of days is not given. Next, see, A. What is A? Basic salary is giving how much? 200 rupees. Yes, is giving how much? 200 rupees. This is not cost per day, this is total cost. Sorry, this is total cost. I am writing a total cost. Okay, first we'll do total cost per total cost, then we'll do per hour. Let us do simple. Why we have to spend time? We'll do simply. Total cost we'll do. At the last we'll do calculation of labor cost per man per day of 8 hours. We'll do later. Next, basic. This is basic plus DA. Is giving a question. This is salary. Next, monthly we are talking about. Total cost we are talking about monthly. Next, B. What is B? Leave salary. Okay. Leave salary is how much? 5% of salary. 5% of 200. We'll get 10 rupees. Next, C. What is C? Employer contribution to PF. Employer contribution to PF. What is saying? He's saying how much percent? 8% of salary. And what is salary for here? He says that salary is A plus B. A plus B. So 8% of 210 rupees. 210 into 8%. We are getting 16.8. Okay. Next, D. Employer contribution to state insurance. D point. Employer contribution to state insurance. Okay, what is saying? Employer contribution to state insurance, 2.5% of same 210 rupees. A plus B is saying. He's saying 2.5% of A plus B. So 2.5% into 210. 5.25 we are getting. Okay. Next, E point. What is next? Amenities. How much is saying amenities to labor? 17.95. Amenities directly is saying to labor. Directly per month is giving. See here, 17.95 per head per month. So per head per month 17.95. Okay. Number of working hours he is giving 200. So let me do calculation. So 200 plus 10 plus 16.8 plus 5.25 17.95. So we are getting 250. This is total cost. Total cost for 200 hours. 200 hours is giving question, and this is per month. Per month. This is per month. Okay. So we have to find out cost per day. We have to find out cost per day. Okay. Now, Roman number 1, cost per day. Per day how many hours? 8 hours. Per 8 hours we have to find out. Okay. And here this 250 is total cost and 200 hours. So how to find out? Cost per 8 hours. Cost per day, that is 8 hours. First you find out per hour. So first we have to find out per hour. Okay. Cost per hour. How to find out? Total cost divided by total hours. Okay, so we have 250 divided by 200. We get 250 divided by 200. We are getting 1.5. 1.25 the cost per hour. 1 hour the cost is 1.25. So cost per 8 hours per day, how many hours is working? So cost per day is cost per hour into number of hours. Cost per hour is how much? 1.25 into number of hours is how much? 8. 1.25 into 8, we are getting 10. That is cost per day. So simple. What I have done first, I first find out total cost per month. That is for 200 hours. So 250 for 200 hours. Okay. For 8 hours, how much? We can do like this also. 250 is for 200 hours. For 8 hours, how much? Cross multiply, I'll get. See. 8 into 250 divided by 200. So you'll get 2. You do like this also, you'll get calculation. How? 250 is for 200 hours. For 8, how much? So this is like this also you can do. 250 into 8 divided by 200. You'll get answer 10. One way of solving. Other way of solving, what I am doing first I am finding cost per hour. How to find cost per hour? Total cost, that is 250. Total number of hours is 200. 250 divided by 200 is 1.25. Cost per hour. The cost per hour multiply cost per day, that is 8 hours. So cost per hour into number of hours. Cost per hour is 1.25 into number of hours is 8. That is 10. You can do like this or like this also. This or this you can do. So this could be asked for long with wages. Okay, that incentive plans, Halsey, Rowan, Merrick Taylor, with that this will be asked. That's all 2 problems. Rest of the problems we'll see tomorrow's class. I'll solve 2 or 3 problems from this calculation of labor cost. Then I'll start one more new chapter called labor material. Okay, chaliye, thank you.